So the number one thing that you change about Supercross, what would it be?
What chance does a privateer have?
Welcome to Supercross.
What do you say to a factory ride?
I'd probably change press day.
Interesting.
I think press day is one of those things where it feels like a lot of the same guys get to ride press day every single weekend or most every weekend.
Those same guys are the guys at the top too. The guys in the rigs, the factory guys. They're
right. Really, the guys. I mean, from the outside looking in, it's the guys that really shouldn't have the extra time on the track. And
Do you think it's being used for setup wise in practice?
Well, I mean, they could. I mean, very well. But they can go out there on the first lap of practice and jump everything. I mean, basically first lap of first practice without having to look at the track to figure out the transitions. I mean, they've got all that stuff down.
Yeah, they go to press day. They get their lines figured out. I mean, obviously, it's only like half the track and whatever. But
still mostly
they go through the main rhythms and stuff like that. So first qualifying session or first practice, they go out there. They can absolutely send it. Whereas a guy who hasn't seen the track yet, it's got to take the first session to just figure out where they're at.
Is usually the majority of the. Sorry.
No, I would say I'm very thankful to have press day when we get them, but it is a huge advantage. I mean, you get 2 or 3 15-minute sessions on the track, free sessions just to go out there and roll the lines, look at the lines, jump the lines, do whatever you want. And then, like I said, you're going out there and you're sprinting first practice as the where if you don't get the right press, you're going into the next day blind. Basically, I mean, you got to watch press from the day before, but you didn't get to ride the track. You didn't get to feel the transitions. You didn't get to feel the speed of the jumps. And that's one thing is, like, if you can come out sprinting in the first practice as opposed to come out just to learn the track in the first practice, think about how big of an advantage that is.
I mean confidence-wise, too. I mean, you come out there, you know the track, and then the other sessions there's no stress going into your race day if you rode the track the day before.
No, because you basically know if you make it through time qualifying without crashing that you're in the night show. Because you know, you shouldn't have an excuse at that point. If you get press, in my opinion, you shouldn't have an excuse not to make the night show.
You also shouldn't crash out of press either. If you're going so hard that you're going to crash and end your day in press, you're going too hard. I mean, it's press. It's the local news guys that are there that just want to publicize, like, hey, like Supercross is coming to town this weekend, so come out and watch. It's not, I mean, sure, like the motocross publications are out there too, but I mean, they want to see Big Whip over the triple and some cool stuff here and there. But if you're going all out to set down heaters, and obviously they're out there, I mean, the top people they got sensors on their bikes, they got suspension, like measurement bikes for press day, and they'll gather data and they'll switch suspension and change tires and gearing and stuff.
And believe me, I'm not saying those guys, that the top tier guys aren't going to go out and run the same lap time even if they don't get press. Like, they're probably going to run close to the same lap time no matter what. But the fact of having the feeling of the muscle memory of all that stuff down the day before you even get practice, like legit practice and qualifying on the track, and having that muscle memory the day before. I mean, that's
press day is the equivalent of at a local race the practice day before the actual race, because usually you only get about 2 15-minute practice sessions before you race on Sunday. And that's what I compare it to. And how I think press should maybe be handled is maybe them just have the finish line jump open or something, so that they're not being able to test so much of the track and be able to quad huck this thing, but they can still get some sick whip photos from all the media out there. They don't need to unload the entire track and just have them skip the whoops per se.
Right.
It's good.
Sorry. I do think the only thing that is good for it is when they do get the ride press. I mean, it's obviously beneficial for the track builders because they get to go out there and change transitions that maybe are too tight or too spaced apart, something that's not set up, maybe in the race line, that kind of thing. Like, if there's a triple N and the transition between the third and the fourth one's too steep to where nobody can get in between that transition and triple again, then it is really good, obviously, to have that information to know these guys have ridden the track and the track builders can see, they get the information from the riders. I mean, yeah, that you can't beat that either for as far as like building the best racetrack. But if you can go out and make suspension changes during press day, if you can go out and make suspension changes and get all this data and all this stuff. I mean, and I don't know how much data these guys are really getting out of it, but I mean, I don't think you should be able to go out and make a suspension change on press day unless your stuff's really that far off, then go back to the truck and then come back out for the next one. Like you shouldn't be able to pull up and your mechanic shouldn't be able to do clicker adjustments on press day. I mean, and that's just like, just shooting shit, but it's just like one of those things where it's just that much it's just that much more of an advantage.
I think me and you talked about it too before. I think when me and Jared talked about it, and then I forwarded it along to you, like what we talked about is, I mean, press day should be, because right now it's just kind of like if it's your local race and you're hound shawing enough, you can get your press day for that local race. But I feel like it should almost just be like a random lottery. Like if you're signed up for that round, that's on Saturday. On Tuesday, of all the people who are already registered for that race on Tuesday, they take that pot and they pick 20 guys at random and actually have it random. No, like money doesn't sway it doesn't make your piece of the pie bigger because you put in a bunch of money for it or something.
And for privateers and
random.
factory riders, for everyone.
The whole list. So I mean, yeah, there'll still be factory guys out there, but it's not going to be the same guys every week.
Or if that doesn't work, then
or I mean, you can have your mechanic there, but like no bike changes. Like obviously it'd be not lightly enforced, but like, let's not get crazy with, I mean, if there's something not safe about your bike, obviously you can change it,
right,
or something like that. But I mean, to come in and talk to your suspension tech and say like, hey, like it's doing this to this section, I need to change this and that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to feel that until the day of practice. I mean, that's what we're getting at. You shouldn't be able to make that adjustment until that next day when you actually get your first practice, because that's what everybody else is getting. Why should any of us have an advantage over the next guy? And I think the lottery system is that's a very good point, because I mean, think about it. Then you'd have basically different guys each weekend, and it couldn't be swayed one way or the other, and then nobody's complaining about it.
And also it makes people makes these riders sign up earlier too. It's just a motivation. Like, hey, like if I sign up early enough, then I'll be at least open to possibly getting, because obviously you have to know early enough, because then you have to drive out there a day early to be able to do press. So I mean, it takes a little bit more planning, and obviously if you get in the lottery of getting your chance to do press day and you can't go, and then you just decline, but at least the opportunity's been given to you to be able to do it that you maybe never have gotten before. You just some guy who's never gotten them. Factory guys are still going to get press day. There's no way around it. Like you're not going to exclude them from this list. So there's going to be a couple factory guys out there still doing press, but it just needs to be an equal opportunity for everybody.
Well, you guys all sign up to race the same event, and so I do like your idea. Like either you let everybody that signed up, you turn it into, hey, because from what I know is kind of press day starts at like 4 a.m. and they've got some people on the track early to kind of test some things, and then you've got the local news, and then you've got, some of the other moto news, and it goes fairly all day. There should be a way to either let all of you guys that are signed up to have a little look at the track to keep it fair, right? Or go with a lottery system where it is just a pot of 20 riders, factory and privateers included, and that's kind of just what you get. And there should be no changes made to the motorcycle. You should have no wheelbarrow and wrenches and anything set up so that they could change tires, change wheels, change clickers, that sort of thing, because it's blatantly obvious that it could be used as a advantage over the other riders, especially the privateers, which make up the majority of the field. Yes, we still need press day, but there is a way to tweak it to where it benefits all rather than the few.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The full hour-long podcast is going to be released later this week, so make sure you are subscribed and you hit the notification bell. This is constructive criticism coming from the participants of the actual races, and their voices need to be heard. This is so that we can start a conversation and get people talking. So make sure that you join the conversation and comment down below.